we've dealt with worse. Hey, Desperate Housewives superfans, welcome back. If you're on YouTube, which I'll upload eventually, I'm in Summer's old location with a live audience today. Please welcome to the podcast, Sarah and Jasmine.
I don't think you guys should.
Buy John for this album, come on.
Yeah.
Streaming gets more money.
Stream greetings from your hometown out today.
I've always been
Leave
curious.
comments of your favorite
Exactly.
And you will get a reply from one of the Jonas Brothers.
Yes, they're going to be on the podcast next week. Okay, Summer, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say that this is so incredibly trippy for me, you being in my former home. And I've always been curious as to why stans or, you would say like, oh, go stream like this artist's song. Is it just like to support them?
Okay, guys, Summer's wondering why we're supporting our family. She says, why do stans say go stream this artist? Because we want them to be successful.
Also, Summer, it's not just artists. Like, these are our blood relatives.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like me. It's like you going to like uncle's restaurant and then eating the pasta, and everyone's like, "Whoa, why are you eating that pasta?"
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly,
Actually, that
that's our
does make more
family. That's our
sense.
family.
And there's like undisputed proof. Like, I wasn't there, obviously, at my own birth, but many people that Nick was the one that gave birth to me. So I can't mess around with that. You know?
Yeah, that's mother. And for those who are not familiar, that is the lovely and talented Sway Rat in the back.
Yeah, that is Sway. You can follow her. What's your account now called?
Is it sweet?
Well, no, don't follow me.
Okay, she says don't follow her.
But you can definitely send me requests. Love to see them pile in.
Anyway, Summer, what was your moment of desperation recently?
Well, I had a handful, and I'm going to give you the TLDR. So the first one is that Kelly and I got a TV.
Thank God.
Yes, we needed one real bad. So we went to Target and then we went to Best Buy and compared different prices. And we walked out of there with a TV, only to realize that the box might not fit in my car. But the lovely Target employee managed to shove it in the back seat. And now we have a TV that we have to mount. If any listeners are in the Los Angeles area and have any experience mounting a TV, would like to help me, drop us a DM. Thank you.
I think you're going to have to do a TaskRabbit for that. That's what I did.
We thought about it, but I know so many men that I feel like I can just get one of them in here. A couple of them, maybe. Two. It's a team effort.
I don't know if any of the men you know how to mount a TV, to be honest. Okay, well, that's crazy. So is that your moment of desperation? You got a TV?
It was sort of the moment of desperation. I had like little sprinkles of desperation throughout the week, but to follow up on the TV, I was sitting there so excited to have my inaugural TV watch, and I threw on How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, starring Robert Morse, and I'm enjoying the movie, and then I just happened to turn my head to the left, and imagine my surprise when I see Blanche sitting on the balcony ledge.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No,
And,
I'm terrified.
Yeah, my heart went right up into my throat. And the weirdest part was that I didn't let her out there. So what she did was she unlocked the previously locked doggy door and pushed her way out without my noticing and jumped up onto the ledge. And I gasped when I saw her. We made eye contact. And since she knew she was in the wrong, she jumped right down.
Thank God, because when cats do that, you have to be so, and it's so hard because you want to be like, no, but you have to be calm, or she could have gotten scared and then like fell off or jumped off.
Yeah, it was really frightening. It lasted all of 4 seconds, but it was a really scary moment. Yeah,
so
and I've had a handful of just like other small moments of desperation, but those are the ones that stick out to me the most from this week, and I don't really want to take up too much time, so why don't I throw it on over to you?
So I had a crazy week. So I was in Vermont for the last week. Now I'm in New York, and as if you're watching on the YouTube, Summer's old apartment, even though it's unrecognizable now. There's not an ounce of pink in here. This is the most pink in this apartment. So I had to get straight to Vermont, and like in every single route, the only way to get there, not at 10 p.m. at night, was to go through Minnesota. So I was like, okay, T, like here we go. I took a red eye from LAX to Minnesota, Minnesota to Burlington. Got there at noon. Great. So I'm waiting at the gate at LAX, reading a script for a movie that's coming out. I'm not going to say redacted, just having a blast. And then I hear, Harrison Gomez, please come to the front. We have an important message for you.
Oh,
So I was
no.
like, oh, like what's going on? So I go up, I'm like, hey, you called me? And they go, yeah, so you booked your flight 3 times.
What I'm talking about.
And I said,
3 seats.
what? And she goes, one was canceled, but we have 2 reservations for you. And only one was checked in, so we figured it was just one of you. And I was like, oh.
Her dad walks in.
I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. I said, can you refund me? They were like, talk to your bank. I was like, okay. So I did, in fact, get charged twice. So I was like, that's why my credit card was
Wow.
maxed out. So I'm like, okay,
Wait, this is the second
fine.
time.
Huh?
Wait, this is the second time this happened to you? Worst 4th of July?
Oh,
When rent was paid twice?
oh yeah, no, exactly. And you know what? My bank account, and I still haven't gotten paid for 2 weeks because my thing glitched. But it's fine. I was home. I wasn't paying for anything. So then these flights, like, and I love a red eye flight, but these flights were like too short because for whatever reason, Minnesota is like right between Vermont and LA. Like it was only a 3-hour flight to Minnesota and an hour and a half to LA. Or, sorry, to Burlington. So deeply confused. So I kind of slept on that flight. I get to Minnesota at 5 a.m. I'm so confused at this airport. It's so big. The Midwest to me feels like I'm on a different planet. So I'm just like looking around so confused. There's like nowhere to go. So I'm laying down in like a bench of like one of those in airport restaurants.
Yeah.
I'm just laying there. I'm on the phone with my dad because I knew he'd be awake at that hour.
There was a point on it.
And then the restaurant opens and the lady opening the bar goes, "You here for breakfast?" And I said, no, I'm just laying here. And she goes, you gotta go. As if I was a homeless person on a bench. And I said, where do you want me to go? My body hurts from this flight. I'm tired. You're gonna kick me out? And she goes, if you're not eating, you're not staying here. I was like, oh my God. So then I went to Starbucks, and I also, that right before my flight, I got a lymphatic drainage massage. So I wasn't able to have caffeine, sugar, processed food. Do you know what's in Minnesota? Caffeine,
sugar, processed food.
So there was nothing for me to eat. I'm freaking out. Finally, I find like a really cushy bench in this corner where they're showing a documentary of the Superior Lakes. So I'm just watching that. Now I'm like obsessed with Lake Superior. So if anybody wants to go, guys, we have to take a trip to Minnesota.
Gotta do Great Lakes.
Gotta do Great Lakes. So then I get to Burlington finally. I get to Burlington finally. I open the door. My mom picks me up. I can't speak. I am so tired. I'm just like, I've never been so stunned into silence over what I went through. And you know what? My flights were really easy. Like there was nothing wrong. If all of this had happened maybe 5 hours later, I would have been a happy little flyer. But no, so I get in the car. I'm like, and she's like, so good to see you. I'm like, I get to I'm just like in the car in silence, and the airport's an hour away from my house. So I'm just like in the car staring out the window. I get into bed and I'm just laying there. Like truly my body's in shock.
At least it was nothing like detrimental to either of us this week.
It wasn't. Well, see, my moments of desperation are usually just like a little bit silly and crazy.
Yeah, must be nice.
But mine are like, I feel like mine are very similar. I'm kind of like mirroring exactly what happened to me in July. No money, credit cards maxed out, double paying, crazy travel.
Right.
I don't know what's written in the stars, but the same thing has happened to me the beginning and the end of July.
Isn't this your Jordan year or something?
No, your Jordan year's when you're 23. It's my Saturn return.
What year is... Oh, Saturn return.
Well, you're in your Saturn return now, too. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Because
I'm
my
not.
Saturn's in Pisces. Because mine started when I was earlier. Now it's in Aries,
Where's
but
my
it's gonna like
Saturn?
retrograde. Yours is probably in Pisces, but now it's
Yeah.
retrograding back into Pisces, and it won't be done for me until that's done. But you have started yours, so
Wait, how do you know? Why do you know this?
this is like a pretty. This is like a thing everybody knows. Your Saturn return starts in your late 20s.
I thought it was 28.
I thought it started at
27 to
29.
29.
Okay, so it depends.
Well, it depends. Like mine started at 27.
No, so mine is over.
No, yours is probably Pisces. So ours isn't fully done yet because it's
Oh.
it's retrograding back into Pisces.
I had such a terrible July.
Yeah.
I've had a really
Wait, so
bad
what's my Saturn?
Your Saturn's, I think, in
Worst, like,
Aries
2 months of my life.
How do you know this?
because mine's in Pisces. So next is Aries.
I love fire signs.
I'm really shaken up by how you would know that my Saturn would be in Aries.
Well, if mine's in Pisces and you were born only a few months after after me.
I was born 7 months after you. 7.
I don't know why you're so adamant that you were born 7 months after me.
Because that's not a few. That's not like 3 months after you. It's almost a year
Well,
after
yeah,
you.
but then Saturn is every 2 years. So after me, then I was like right at the end of
So pretty.
Pisces. So then it went into Aries, like a few months after I was born.
I'm gonna crash out. Should we get into the
Yeah,
episode?
let's get into it.
So pretty.
Do you remember what this episode was called?
This episode was called. This is episode 7, season 4. You can't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't judge a book by its cover. Sondheim.
Yeah. What song is this?
Now it looks like this is from Follies.
Oh, I don't know Follies. I say that every week. I'm not very versed in the Sondheim.
Ooh. Yes, this is a lyric from the song Ah But Underneath, and we have actually had an episode called Ah But
We
Underneath
did. I think that's
as well.
episode 2. Wait, speaking of Sondheim, I will say I did karaoke in my hometown. I blew them away with I'm the Greatest Star. However, I really wanted to perform Some People and have my dad say the line, "You're not getting 88 cents from me, Rose." Because I think that he could really body that because he
Oh.
likes to say that to me anyway. So maybe in January I'll make it happen because they do karaoke the first Monday of every month. And I was finally there for it. So I was like, I have to perform.
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah. Okay, so we start off here with Victor Lang plotting his revenge on Gabrielle.
Gabriel.
And it's Victor Lang is all about deception.
Yeah, he tells Gabby that he has paused everything with work and he's going to take the month and he's like, I'm going to take you somewhere special, but first, let's go on a boat ride this weekend and it's just going to be the two of us. And we get these very sinister, ominous vibes from him and it sounds like he may be plotting to kill her.
And he also catches her on the phone with Carlos, but she's going, I don't want to do this anymore. We're done, we're done, we're done. And then she's like, oh my God, it's Brie. And he then looks at the phone log and sees it was Carlos, but doesn't know that the conversation was, leave me alone.
Speaking of Brie, we go to her in the next scene where she is lying about the baby. And this episode was all about deception. So at first we've got Victor being deceptive, and now we've got Brie being deceptive. And then we have her friends lying to her face about how great this baby is as it is screaming at the top of its lungs.
I just noticed Brie looked so stunning gorgeous. I feel like she's just looked so stunning gorgeous this entire season. I think because Marsha Cross had
Yeah.
just had a baby. I think she just had like post-baby glow or something. Because she looks like more stunning than usual. I just clocked that. And then Lynette announces she's cured from cancer. And she was like, no, I didn't want to say anything. Like, it's about the baby. Like, I think that's a pretty big deal. Perhaps that's
I
Trump's
agree.
baby. It's like Brie already has 2 other kids. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe it's because Lynette already has 4 of her own and a 5th, uninvited child. But, like, getting over cancer is kind of huge.
Yeah.
And not something that happens every day, and people have babies every day.
Oh my God, wait, that reminds me. My friend of the pod, Emily, she came over with her kids, and they are the Scavo twins. Like, the way they act, I was like, this is Parker Preston.
Is that Ace and other
Ace
child.
and Graham, yes.
Graham.
Yeah. Hey, they're kids. Be nice.
You know what? That's rich coming from
Okay,
you.
second week in a row. You know, I don't hate kids. I'm not gonna despise a child. I don't like the idea of having them, but I can appreciate that other people want them. And these are
Listeners,
little
if anybody
kids.
else hates kids, it's not even that I prefer not to have one around. I actually am like disgusted when I see
I
them.
think being fully disgusted by kids is kind of like at this age is a little you need to grow out of that because your friends are going to start having kids.
First of all, don't you dare put that on me. Second of all, we know that I have two friends who are pregnant right now. Um, I will not be a part of their life post baby. So,
Well, that's really sad. I think that I love when I love my little friend Allie and her little daughter Lydia. That's my little niece. Like I love buying her presents. I think that's something to work on perhaps cuz
I just like I always saw us as being on the same page about this.
well, I never like hated kids in that way. Like they don't
Oh.
disgust me.
They're so sticky, and there's like always something sticky on their hands.
Not always, not if they're well behaved. Like I don't choose to be
Maybe that's
around
the
kids all the
issue.
time, but I'm not going to like hate my friends' kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, to each their own, I
Okay,
suppose.
well I think you need to work on that because that's really sad. They're just little kids.
You know what? We have an overpopulation problem as it is. I digress.
Anyway,
So Lynette has
we have a lot of
gone
mom
into
listeners. They're
remission.
going to be like, "Oh my God, Summer hates my kids."
I don't hate kids I've never met.
Okay. Where are we anyway? Oh wait, yeah, Stella
Stella.
has a random man over.
Yeah, Stella enters. She obviously knows that Lynette is over her cancer, and she's like, "Oh, wonderful!" And then Stan, her man friend, pops in, and he's like, "Oh, I had cancer too, prostate."
Not that this exact specific thing happened when my grandma was living with us, but I just like can't believe really how they embodied my grandmother so
Right.
well. Even like the relationship with the daughters, it was really bizarre. It was so crazy for me to see. Like that's something she
Well,
would have
you were a
done.
consultant on this episode,
I
weren't
think I
you?
was, honestly.
Yeah.
So then Mike is tired and popping pills, and then they go to dinner with the Hodges.
Yes, and Mike really did not feel like doing this, and he's telling Susan like he just doesn't have it in him. He's been working hard. He has to be up early the next day. And Susan basically says, "That's too bad, so sad. Shove it. We're hanging out with Bree and Orson." And at dinner, they start talking about preschools. Now, bear in mind, baby Benjamin Hodge is like 5 or 6 days old, and they they start talking about preschools while this baby is fresh out the oven and Susan's is still in the oven. So Mike is like, "Hey, isn't it a little early for that?" He's deeply confused, but they explain that there's a lot that goes into prepping for the best preschools.
Yeah, this is like real life too. Like this is so crazy, but I feel like this is kind of recycled because we had preschool drama with Lynette and the twins.
We did, but yeah, that's a good
Oh, you know
point.
what?
But
Or
I
maybe
guess
I'm thinking of
because
later when Lynette has more kids. I feel like this happens again.
Lynette only has one more, though,
No,
right?
oh, well, she's those twins, but then one of them dies in the accident.
Wait, she does?
Yeah. But she gets
Oh,
pregnant
I
with
don't remember
twins.
that.
Twins run in the Scavo family.
Jesus, I'd end it all. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Um, Wait, you know what's really crazy?
Then,
Not to go off topic again, but you know how we said twins run in the Scavo family, and we said like Tom Scavo and Nick Cannon are twins?
yeah,
Allegedly, twins also run in the Cannon family as well. Because
no
he has the twins
way.
with Mariah, and then he has another set of twins. And apparently, like in his family, there's a lot of twins. Isn't that crazy? He really is our real life Tom
Ooh.
Scavo.
Then the subject of circumcision comes up. And Bree starts talking about it because she gets invited to her friend's son's bris. And Orson is very much dead set against this. He calls it mutilation. He even says that he remembers his own circumcision.
Yeah, he says his parents argued about him getting circumcised as a child, so he didn't do it till he was 5, which I understand his I see that's very traumatizing, but like just do it.
Orson was a victim.
He was a victim. Like that's really bad. That's really icky.
Yeah, and for Gloria to, well,
We see.
Gloria didn't like Orson very much.
No, he's got some mommy issues for sure.
For sure.
For sure. So then so then Mike is popping pills in the kitchen and Bree clocks it and catches him and she's like, "What's that?" And he goes, "Oh, aspirin, like my shoulder hurts." And then he leaves one on the floor and she sees it's a narcotic.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. And good on Bree for not really just letting that go. But then we go to Gabby and Victor, who are getting on the boat. And at this point, we're very worried about Gabby. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if she's going to make it off this boat. Just very, again, ominous moment between them.
And yeah, he's like, "There's no crew. It's just gonna be us on the open water." And she's like, "Okay, cool." And doesn't think anything of
And
it.
Gabby's like, who's going to serve me my pina colada?
I think fair question. And then Lynette wants Stella to get out of the house, and she's like, "You taught the kids how to make a whiskey sour. You gotta leave."
That's so
Which
funny.
is, again, that's something my grandma did with my mom. She made my mom and her sister be a bartender for her as kids.
You know what? It's really no different than me making a Campari and soda for my grandpa when I go home.
Well, you're an adult. Did you start doing that as a child?
No.
Okay, I think a 28-year-old can make a drink for her grandpa. But I think
Yes, and
get
it's
him young. That's a good life skill.
Yes.
Bartenders make a lot of money. I'm team Stella.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? Instead of the lemonade stand this summer, they're gonna be raking in the dough.
Imagine being on the Jersey Shore and you see little 8-year-olds. "Hey, we have a bar. Do you guys want whiskey sours? We have whiskey sours. We have margaritas. They're handshaking for ourselves. $5. I want to see that.
Oh, and then on a more somber note, Julie goes to Susan and she asks about Dylan's dad. She's kind of like, "Hey, we have this genealogy project for school. What do you know about Dylan's dad?" And Susan is, of course, like being a little bit cagey, but ultimately she says, "Oh, well, Catherine alluded to her ex-husband being very abusive towards her and to Dylan."
And Dylan's in the other room and she overhears it and she's kind of floored because she doesn't know anything about this. Then Bree is telling Susan about the narcotics and Susan confronts Mike. He goes, "Oh my God, like no big deal. I just started them again because like my shoulder was hurting. It's like not a problem. Like don't worry about it." And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah, and he's basically like, "I found a couple of extra pills. They were prescribed by a doctor. It's no big deal." And you know, Susan, in classic Susie Q fashion, she's like, "I whipped up this whole scenario in my head, and I thought you were pawning our good silver to pay your dealer, but we don't even have any good silver."
And she was making the whole thing about herself. She was like,
Yeah.
"I thought living with me was so horrible." It's like, well, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I wrote that down too. I made a note how, like, she has a talent, a penchant for being able to turn every single topic back onto herself.
we know the type.
Oh, we sure
Moving
do.
on. And then Bree takes Ben to get circumcised at the hospital. And the hospital says, we have a note from the father that says this is not allowed to happen. And he also brought it to like every hospital in the state and in the neighboring states because he does not want his son getting snipped.
Oh, circle.
Which is kind of hilarious and, like, low-key good on Orson for having no pun intended, but the foresight,
Yeah.
to be able to know. He said, like, pardon me for knowing my wife. And he's like, I knew Bree was going to do something like this. So he got in there before she could.
Right. And I think it's, you know what? It's good Orson standing up for men's rights.
Yeah, you know what? It must be so hard being a straight white man in the year
So
2007.
difficult. And he looked at his 8-day-old child and said, I'm going to make sure we don't harm his sexual pleasure.
Oh my
Which
God.
I just think is a
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
thing to say about an 8-day-old baby.
Yeah.
But, you know, he has trauma, so
Yeah, trauma makes people do crazy
it sure
things.
does. And then Catherine, she's so annoying. She catches Dylan doing a genealogy report, and she's like,
She's so annoying.
she's so annoying. And she goes, what are you doing? Stop looking up your father. And she's like, it's for school. And she goes, you have to get a new assignment. I'm not telling you anything about your dad.
I'm not telling you a thing about your dad. You can call your teacher and have her give you a new
And
assignment.
she's like, oh my God, like, I'm gonna get a D. D for Dylan and Danielle.
D for Dylan.
Yeah.
Wait.
And she's pissed off. She's like, just tell me about my dad.
Tell me about my dad.
I don't know about my
Then
dad.
Bree and Susan start talking about the pills, the narcotic situation again, and Bree is just not quick to let go of her theory, and Susan is pretty much adamant that, you know, Mike explained everything and she trusts him, and Bree kind of leaves her with the message of trust but verify, and she also gives Susan examples of all the different places that she hid alcohol when she was like, you know, when she had a really bad drinking problem, and then that sends Susan down this spiral of looking for pills around the house.
And then she literally ransacks the whole house, and then she finds the pills in the flashlight because she notices the flashlight's not working, and she finds a little baggie. But like, it's just pills. It's not doing heroin or anything. Who cares? What's a pill addiction? You know?
What's a pill addiction?
Who cares?
I think
Not
it was like
shooting up.
a bigger deal in the 2000s.
Maybe it was. Like who? Like who does pills anymore? Like that's just
Not
I don't
I.
know. Hey, I'm looking to start a narcotics addiction. If anybody knows a dealer, let me know.
Do you have any
Whoa,
good
that's
silver?
crazy. So then Lynette and Stella go to lunch with Sarah Paulson. I didn't get the sister's name. I just called her Sarah Paulson.
Yeah, I did the same thing until it finally came out. This is her sister Lydia.
Yes, because they talk about Lucy too. So
Right.
it was a bit confusing. But and then when we finally meet Lucy, it was just crazy because we have Felicity Huffman, big star Sarah Paulson, and then just this random girl. Like, looking
Right.
at.
And yeah, I couldn't tell you who she was, but
Yeah.
I just appreciated the fact that they, you know, stayed consistent and made sure all of the sisters were like the same shade of blonde.
Agreed. It was good. And she's basically like, you need to take mom back. And she's like, no. And she reads off her therapy's notes. She's like, I have my boundaries. I'm not taking mom back. She's abusive towards me. I'm not doing it. And then Lynette opens up Lydia's car, puts all of Stella's stuff in there, and drives away. And it was just such a good scene because you have Stella and Lydia's like, you can't bully me anymore. We can get lunch, but that's it. And in the back, you just see Lynette doing a good physical comedy, grabbing all the suitcases and throwing them in the car and just like skirting away. Or not, what is it? Like screeching away.
Lynette is a genius,
No, that was really smart. I was like, oh my God. I would
right? Like all of them are smart, but Lynette, I think she thinks the quickest on her feet.
She does. That's why I'm a Lynette.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Then we find Edie and Carlos together. She is giving him his painting back, but it's damaged. And I didn't know Carlos was an appreciator of fine art, but he pretty much opens with like, thanks for letting me know, like, this painting is really important to me.
I was a bit confused
So
about
that came out of
too.
nowhere.
I just didn't think he had many belongings since he really hasn't had a home of his own for 2
Right, he's been
seasons.
something of a nomad, yeah.
Yeah, a nomad through Wisteria Lane. And then she tells him, she's like, well, I know about you and Gabby, and I've told Victor. And he's like, oh, that's really bad because he has previously told Victor that he would like use his money to make somebody disappear if they embarrassed him in the way that Gabby did with Carlos.
Right. So Carlos immediately calls Gabby, and she's sort of like, I told you not to call me anymore. And he warns her about Victor knowing what's going on. And she's like, well, that's not possible. Like, he's so happy. He's so sweet. And he took me on a boat. And then it sort of comes the dawn of Gabby realizing she may be in danger.
And then Victor takes her phone and he's like, I know you're talking to Carlos. I know this affair started. And she's like, let's go back to shore. Let's go back to shore. He pulls out a bag in which she thinks there's a gun in there. So, because she says she's cold, and she hits him over the head with a paddle. He falls into the ocean, and then she drives the boat away. Catherine is telling Dylan all about her being beat by her father. And she's like, oh, I'll give you this note, but just so you know, he slammed me against the wall, held a knife to me, gouged my eye, swung me by my hair, and
Ripped my skin.
literally
Broke all of my bones.
ripped off all my toenails one by one. Hit me with a car. And Dylan starts crying, and she goes, never mind, like, I don't want to know anything about Dad. And then we see the note, and Catherine is manipulating her, and there was nothing on there. She wasn't even planning on giving her any information.
And you know what? Like, what if that didn't work? I mean, I guess Catherine knows enough, but what if that didn't work?
Exactly. What if she was like, okay, I want to face my abusive dad then? Like what if she was like, hey, I have a lot of like self-defense training, I'll give it back to him. Like, what about that? What would you
She's
do,
like,
Catherine?
Mom, guess what we've been learning in PE?
Yeah. She would have said, I can jab, cross, hook, roundhouse kick him out. But she didn't. She just started crying.
Well, speaking of problematic parents, I started to feel really bad for Stella because her daughters are all fighting over how much they don't want her, and it's just really, like, it had me gutted for a minute.
It did for me, but also, again, I've seen this exact situation in real time, so I can see why they were doing that. But again, it's like, and as we see Lynette do, sometimes you just have to forgive. It's your mom at the end of the day. And then Bree sneaks out to the bris, which up until this episode, I thought it was a brisk.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Like the iced tea?
Yes.
Christy.
I thought a rabbi circumcision day was a brisk from the nanny. Guess not.
Well, the more you know,
The
I
more
suppose.
you know. And I swear, like, I watched an episode of The Nanny when they had a bris, and they said brisk. So
Yeah, that's very
confused.
the nanny of
I'm
them to
very
do.
confused. Then, yeah, so she goes to the bris, and she tells the rabbi, she's like, can you do a bris for my son? And he goes, you don't look Jewish. And she goes, I'm Bree Hodge. And then she says, like, Bree something. I don't know.
She goes, born Rabinowitz.
Yes, that's what it was. She goes, I'm Bree Rabinowitz. And she's like, I'm very Jewish. And this was like, this is so me. And he goes, okay, well, when you do this, like, you're promising that you're going to raise your child a devout Jew. And she goes, oh, don't worry. I promise to raise him as devout a Jew as I am. Which, like, good wording. That's clean. And it was just so, like, she is the most wasp out of all of these women. So this was so funny. I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, this was a great scene. I just thought it was hysterical.
Yeah.
And then Carlos goes to rescue Gabby and finds that, you know, she has made her way back to shore and that Victor is in the water. Carlos starts freaking out naturally, as one would, and they set out to go get him.
And okay, wait, so, oh no, that's back later. So then I called them the Lynette sisters because I couldn't remember their names at this point. So the Lynette sisters are fighting over who needs to take Stella still, and they're all reminiscing about her being drunk and being a bad parent. And then basically at this point, Lynette's like, how do you guys have no compassion? Like, of course you can stay with me. However, I do think it's a little crazy that they were like, stop playing the mom card. It's like, she has so many kids in that house.
Yeah.
And the other one said, like, she had a huge house, lives alone from a divorce. So it's like, guys, I think she can mind her business in one of your homes. You can't stick her on the one with all the kids. Like that's a fair point to play the mom card.
Yeah, exactly. And like, not for nothing, but I mean, obviously Stella's pretty self-sufficient, but
Yeah.
like having an elderly person in the house, now she's got 7 kids because she has Tom
Well,
as
she's not
well.
really elderly. Stella's like maybe in her like 60s. She's definitely not like a decrepit elderly person. In fact, she can probably help
She's
with the kids, but it's not like they have a huge house.
okay, but like my mom is in her 60s, but she's not old, but Stella's in her 60s, but she reads old to me.
Well, that's probably because she's a grandmother. Like she's coming in as a grandma. That's why she reads old.
That's interesting. It's like a perception
I think it's a
thing.
perception thing. Like, for example, my uncle, I'm thinking about this because I just saw them yesterday. My uncle's only 8 years older than me, but he seemed so
Oh,
much older when I was a kid because he's my uncle. But now, if I have friends who are like
right.
even 10 years older than me, it feels the same. I just
Right,
think it's a
right, right.
perception of like where you are at and where you meet people,
That's so
you know?
strange. But Lynette's sisters suck.
Yeah, they're kind of bad, but I think they're also just trying to protect themselves at some point, so you can't really blame them. But to just stick them on Lynette, it's like, guys, come on.
I can blame them a little.
Yeah. And then Gabby and Carlos go rescue Victor. And then it's kind of like somehow he like survived in that water. And then he like turns
Somehow.
evil. So sticks a knife. He goes after Carlos with a knife. And then Gabby hits him over again. And she goes, okay, like I guess we have to go rescue him. And now he's not coming up for air this time.
Right, and that's extremely alarming.
Gotta watch this show,
They're
guys.
looking,
I think you're gaslighting me.
And then
and they
She's
look
like
for
somewhere,
Victor for
and then
six
it was
hours,
Afghanistan, huh?
but they can't find him.
And they're like, okay, do we call the police? Which again, I think, you know, he did come out with a knife. I think this is a very valid thing to do. But instead they say, let's stage a suicide. And
that's what I'm
they
talking
send the boat out by itself as if they were just never there.
Yeah, and like Carlos is worried that they can't claim self-defense because they can't prove it, but like was the knife not on the boat?
I don't know. The knife may have gone down with him, but also Victor is so powerful and has so much money
Oh,
that
yeah.
I think his dad would have absolutely like
Yeah.
they would have definitely made them seem guilty. So I think they just figured that all out and were like, okay, well, nobody knew. And also, yeah, nobody knew they were on the boat. So easy.
Right, right. And my next note just says, how is Susan making this about herself?
Wait, what does she say other than she's confronting Mike with the pills?
So she talks to Mike about the pills and she's like, am I that difficult to live with that you need pills to numb the pain of being with me? It's like, are you okay?
Yeah, like again, it's his addiction. This is
Yeah.
not about you. It's so
Yeah.
not. It's like people can struggle with things and it's not just external sources. I don't know. I think she's just also
Right.
extremely insecure because like why would you come to that conclusion? He's done nothing to show you that.
Yeah.
But then he basically low key is like, yeah, it is because he's like, well, I didn't want to stress you out, but I can't stop working, and my doctor told me I should because I have to make money for the preschool and all this stuff. And it's just like, when was Mike all of a sudden broke? Because
Right. And again, plumbers make really good money.
yeah, I feel like he was living in that other house completely by himself. Well, I guess it's different when you have to like support a family and a kid, but Susan works. She clearly works from home, whatever, and
it just really depends.
I don't know. I just think it's kind
If
of weird
Susan
that they
was like,
suddenly made him broke, and now we're gonna see him broke for the next like
yeah.
3 seasons.
Yeah, and like the fact that Susan was able to support herself and Julie, and like she's probably getting some kind of child support from Carl still.
Right.
So it doesn't make any sense that Mike would have this crash out over this,
Exactly.
you know? Like the math is not mathing
No,
once
it's not.
again.
It just feels a little like it feels a bit forced to me that
Yeah.
suddenly like there has to be like a broke family on the lane, and it's just like give that to
Right.
Tom and Lynette. They have so many kids. Like their
Exactly.
salary will never. Just let them be the poor people. Also, we haven't seen them at the pizza restaurant in a long time.
I know. And Lynette used to be an SVP.
Yeah, like she's got to get back to work. So
You know what? Lynette and Tom and the Scavos are so like Weasley family coded
I don't see that at all. They don't give Weasley to
because
me.
they have a bunch of kids and they have a bunch of kids.
Sure. I don't know. I just don't think about the Weasleys.
I do.
I know. And then he's like, I promise I'm gonna be done, and he pours the pills down the sink. But like, he's a plumber; he knows how to get those out, and we see him do
That's
that.
exactly what I thought. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, if my husband had a pill addiction and was a plumber and was putting him down the sink, in which he knew how to get stuff out of the sink, I'd be like, no, flush him down the toilet, or
Right.
like let me throw it outside. Like you can access these things. But
Right.
Susan's not that bright. Julie would have clocked it. She would have been like, he can unscrew that.
Yeah, Julie's a genius. Julie should be Lynette's daughter.
Maybe he switched at birth.
And they're both blonde.
Yeah, maybe he switched at birth. New season. Let's go. Julie finds out Lynette's her mom.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's our episode.
That's our episode. Thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, it was kind of nothing really happened in this episode, I feel like. Like, there was nothing, like,
Yeah.
big to talk about. It was, this is, like, definitely a filler season.
Yeah. But I still enjoyed it.
Me too. I loved watching Gabby drive the boat. All right, guys.
Eva Longoria can do anything.
Do you have anything to say to our listeners?
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
No, you won't probably.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye, guys.